Opportunity to come together as members of the City Council, city staff, and the public. Lord, we pray that the items before us tonight, that we would consider these things in your will, because we know that in your perfect will that things will be done in such a way that it'll benefit the most number of people as possible, Lord. We continue to, as always, pray for our troops overseas, for our first responders, those folks that have to work 24 hours a day, Lord, so we can rest easy at night. And Lord, we just thank you so much for all the blessings that we take for granted. And we pray all these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge of allegiance. I pledge.
Alderman Curry Woodson. Here. Alderman Rumpke. Here. Alderman Pittman. Alderman Purvis.
Here. Up first on our agenda this evening, we have the
Motion to accept the result.
We have a motion to approve the minutes. That takes us into our regular commission reports. First, we have Budget and Finance Chairman, Mr. W.J. Pittman, and his of Downtown TIF Building Improvement Program application, Walnut Street. The scope of the work there is described, has to do with a $20,000 investment, and that would mean it would be a $1,000 TIF payment. Is there any questions on this request?
Move approval. Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the Building Improvement Program application. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Entertaining any.
Second.
We have a motion. Takes us to the presentation.
That's that. But we will. That's why you see that cushion there, anticipating that. So, nothing. Maybe this is not. It could be tough. The audit, and then that'll be passes for one more year.
All right, thank you, Scott, for that report as always, much appreciated. Consideration of TIF application, this is for the factory at 17th Street, Fay and Mike Mills Memorial Park, also under one umbrella, and entertaining questions on this application.
I would move that we pay this is another one of the $8,000 ones, correct? No.
No.
What is this one?
Sandra, would you like to unpack the details?
Yes.
So this is a traditional TIF application, not the building improvement program
Okay.
application. So it's a 75% payout for 15 years of the TIF portion of her property tax bills. There's 6 total tax bills, so roughly it'd be about $11,000 annually, and which will go up each year as.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Just a point of order, this was for the improvements that you already did. That is,
Those things have to be paid before we do that, I think.
Well,
They don't have
Under a loan of some sort. But I know like the $8,000 ones, those have to be paid. Do these have to be paid before we do that?
Barb.
Well, I thought-
and we could do it that way, but it seems like
Okay, thank you. Thanks.
Just so I'm full confused, John.
Go ahead, Mike.
well. So
Well, 11,000 will fluctuate
Yeah.
based on your property tax.
But it's for 15 years, okay.
but new money coming in. So
Thank you.
All right, I believe, Don, did you have a motion?
yes.
Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Is there any public comment on budget and finance? Hearing none, we'll come out of budget and finance and go to building and grounds, chaired by Mr. Mike Austin.
Thank you, Mayor. Toss this to Gary for a second, because we've talked about the property across the street from El Jalisco, and that's what that. I can't. And I thought the city owned the lot. There was too many, and so a few days, and I, do you want to buy? He said, we buy. They want to buy. On it. Yeah, we. You know what, if the Again,
I don't see any reason not to make that approach at that price level. You know, not a little bit more than what we have gotten out of others. Mr. Rungy?
is this the concrete area?
No. Right.
Yeah. So the Just- And that, so that, but I, John Hyder. This is what him and his wife. So there would be 3 people working. Darren, boot camp. Yeah. So what? The council. If it's not, let me know. Received 25 of the Grand Army Republic plaques. I went up there Friday. Replaced 8 of them that were broken. So getting the cemetery fixed. Sandra, what else would you? Yes.
The cost is just an estimate, depending on how much materials, of course. He's 83 years old, plans to only work about 6-hour days, but really feels like he can get, I think we sent him 55 photos. Feels like they can get most of it done in 4 days. Want the boot camp workers, and he does want a couple of city workers so that they can learn how to make the repairs.
He's changed.
Do we want to set a limit, even though this is an estimated cost, do we want to set a limit over not to exceed?
Picking a number arbitrarily, but I mean, he's at 7439. I don't know if we want to do not exceed at 8,000.
If he finds it's going to be higher than that, you would want to come back to council, is that right?
I suppose. I don't know if he was right on the money the last time he did it or not, you know, with his estimate or their work.
You did a good job the last.
I mean, typically, I think that there's going to be change orders in this as you get into the soil and leveling, and you need a little more rock and whatever, you know, but I don't want him to feel it can't do what needs to be done to get it right. You know?
Really, the materials.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Keep track right.
35-hour day renewal, then.
Sam was suggesting 8,500, and so I have learned over 13 years to concur with her suggestion.
I'll make that motion.
8,500 and ask, be sure we ask him to talk to us as he gets.
Now, this, I believe we have talked to him about doing it in the month of October, because he's not wanting to come down here and fight with the heat.
No, don't blame me.
Yeah, but he said sometime in October.
October 31st at 11 p.m. Thank you. That takes us to Community Relations, chaired by Ms. Curry Whitson.
And we have no new business. Do we have any public comment regarding community relations? Hearing none, Mayor, we can come out of community relations.
Thank you very much, Jance. That takes us to Public Improvement, chaired by Mr. Don Gladden. Don?
Thank you, sir. We have no business. Under new business, we have consideration of parking improvements at 330. And I believe you have details on that, sir.
Yeah, we have a couple of representatives here to this proposal. Ms. Ray Hanna. I would like to offer them the to share about this consideration.
Well, I've got this to leave for you guys as well.
Okay.
So I have plans, I've got the building at 330 North Street listed. I think most of you know they had it there for years. It was the old Kennedy real estate building. Interested, they are the Martin family. Lake Dental, and so they would like to bring a dentist here to Murphysboro. So what they have asked is that they can improve the parking lot in the front. So kind of an AI photo of what they have in mind. With that being said, I spoke to Mark Kennedy today, and I have some concerns. I'm sure, Will, you and I talked about this, about what utilities actually are underneath of that. And so as of right now, I just want consideration. Come to some common ground so they could do this with the building. I think the big thing with the city is the easement right there, and then taking the curb out to make this possible. If we can't do a paved parking lot because there are utilities underneath of it, my ask would be maybe we could come up with some type of gravel parking lot, but if the utilities had to be dug up, we could come up with a common ground. So does anybody have any other questions for me about that?
I guess my question was, I know at one point we were talking about, well, are there any incentives for this particular property? It is in the Jackson County Enterprise Zone. I think I did share that with you maybe in an email, which would allow for no sales tax on building materials and the potential for freezing of property taxes for 5 years up to 10 years and those things of that nature. Are they still thinking that they need the city to participate in the cost of that? Because I don't think that's something that we would be able to do in the way that it is situated, partially on our easement and partially on private property. It's just going to make it difficult.
I think that's their ask, but regardless, you know, if they could get any help with it or not, I think that this is their goal, is to try to be able to do this.
Okay.
So.
All right. I want to look at Darren Mills and or Tim Lee, either one. From memory, do you know what is underneath the ground there by chance? Probably not.
I don't, but I mean, we pour concrete over the top of utilities every day. It's just something that has to be done. But I did see this picture. That picture looks great, but it looks nice and flat. But I did go down there and shoot some elevations, and it was almost a 4-foot difference from one end to the other. So I'm not sure how they're going to be able to pull in off of the street like that. It's going to be kind of difficult for them. And I know after talking to Charlie, one of the parking spots will have to be ADA compliant.
Okay.
And it's just a matter of the way things are. So I think it's going to take some engineering to make that work.
Okay.
That's still
I think their goal is to attempt to get some parking that's going to make it easier and more accessible for elderly and, ADA folks and that sort of thing off of that one end. Is that correct, Ray? Richard, do you have any thoughts with some of this being our right of way and some of it not?
The city could allow an encroachment in removal of the curb, similar to what is done when you do approval of a driveway onto a property across the city's right of way. So I think that could be approved. But his raised question, I guess, would be Darren, that he's already raised the question of what utilities are there. If something would have to be dug up, does that parking have to gonna be dug out to reach utilities? I guess that's a question for future concern.
Well,
there is sanitary sewer nearby, but I'm not exactly sure of the location. I'd have to get it located, but again, probably 6 feet or deeper.
John?
Certainly not my specialty, but if you get rid of the curb, you could be getting a lot of water flow in there, so just be thinking about that too.
The water that comes will move because once you start down that to the stop sign, it is constant elevation drop through there, so.
Well, I guess what I would say is proceed with caution, I suppose. Here tonight, I hadn't thought about the drainage concern there. I'm always one that I want to do everything I can to try to help business develop, because ultimately it helps with the property tax base, it helps with, properties not becoming derelict properties that we inevitably have to deal with on code issues, whatever, and certainly bringing professional people like dental care into town is something that is a positive thing for the community. So I don't know. I don't want to say no, but I feel like with the grade drop and then the drainage issues, they may want to just take a real close look at that.
And then flatten that all out and make that less. But your weak.
Richard, is the encroachment onto our right-of-way something that we have to approve by ordinance? Or is that something that can just be approved by
No,
myself?
I believe that approval process is by the code enforcement officer. I'd have to double check what a code says, but I think that's the process. Charlie's not here.
I believe we have a permit that's for like curb cuts. I think that's something that Charlie had been working on my behalf to get in, just so we would know that somebody is doing that.
Is there anyone on the council opposed to the issuance of a permit from the code office to allow this parking lot development?
You need a motion on it?
I don't know that we have to have one, but if you want to make one,
Well, I make a motion, we let them proceed with their parking lot at their expense.
Okay.
We have a second.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Are you close to closing on this, or?
Well, so I have building listed right now, so I'm representing the seller. Landon is actually representing the buyer. And so they have not formally made an offer yet. They are waiting on the answer on the parking lot. I think they have interest regardless, but they would really they're really set on this parking lot on the front. And from what I understand, they have another besides this that they're renting space, and they're ready to purchase another location. So
In Murphysboro?
they would like the location of this, yes.
Is the second location in Murphysboro?
My understanding was it was in DeSoto, and I'm not for sure where it's at.
Do we have any public comment on public improvement? None.
Thank you, Don. Thank you, Randy. All right, that takes home, Gary.
Thank you, Mayor. There's no, under new closure, lighting, sidewalks, and ADA project.
And this is 49 to Bridge Street, then out to the bridge, and then on the other side of the bridge to Old Brick Road. And primarily from, it's going to be mill and overlay at the intersection of Old 13 and Shoemaker. There is going to be some lights put up there, which the city will assume responsibility for, and that's the cost share here in this agreement. It's about $3,500. The city is going to have to contribute towards that lighting construction.
I did have extensive conversations with IDOT in the lead up to the finalization of this permit, and there's language in here that says that this project cannot commence until the new 13 bridge project is completed and all lanes of traffic there are open, because I didn't feel like, and IDOT agreed, that it would be good head-to-head traffic on the new 13 bridge with just 2 lanes open there, and then the old 13 bridge completely shut down for 30 days. Because if we'd have an accident on the old new 13 bridge with just 2 lanes and some kind of problem out there, that would have not been a good situation potentially. So. The work that's being done there now is because the piers on the west side were set into bedrock that is at about a 45-degree angle, and the bottom of the piers were sliding down the bedrock, and the west side of the bridge was slowly moving down, and it moved. And so they're driving all of those, what look like steel culverts, for lack of a better word, deep into the bedrock, keep that.
I've forgotten what the
I understand
time.
that it's moving.
Yeah, well, it's not a good situation.
I've forgotten what the time of that, but we anticipate that being.
I think well, it's even at
Well, I have not heard that, but certainly anything is possible. We know that the big money monster is real in more than one way. And
that's it.
So 13 bridge with that down to 1 lane.
yeah,
I would be adamant against.
No.
At the time,
But does anything in here indicate to us that we have that authority to say, don't start this until until the other one is done?
yeah, it's on the second page,
Okay.
number 5, I believe.
Number 5, okay.
Question.
Okay, thank you.
I think another, we did find out another roundabout that's now scheduled for letting in spring, or possibly pushing that back to summer, and I think that probably goes hand in hand with the bridge
Yeah, that's
also.
at
Where would the
Shoemaker.
roundabout
No.
be at Shoemaker's?
Oh, 127 and Old 13.
Oh, yeah, at the top of the hill.
Oh, okay. At the top of the hill,
New hill.
like north of where Lee's used to be.
Does somebody want to make a motion for us to go through?
So moved.
Consider
motor fuel tax fund from that $3,500.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Chairman, Mayor, we can move out, and thank you.
Thank you, Gary. That takes us to Public Safety, chaired by Mr. John Ernest.
Two items of new business, block of Edith Street, which is behind the middle school, is what I'm not sure why this is on there, I put it on there.
Well, I can speak to this. So, not sure exactly where to start. We received a complaint from a resident who lives behind the middle school that said that there had been changes to the parking and that parking was being taken away on the north side of the street. And after some investigation, it was found that the school district, I'm not exactly sure who, maintenance employees of some sort, had painted on the street parking X's to, take parking away and to put in handicap parking spots. And so the way that the north side of the street is now striped, as I drove through there today, provides for 5 parking spaces on the north side and 2 handicap spaces as it was striped by the district. Now the interesting thing is when you look at our actual city ordinance, our city ordinance says there's no parking on the south or the north side at all. But the residents in the neighborhood, I think practically speaking for years, have parked on the north side because there's nothing there that indicates that there's no parking on the north side, and the curb is not painted yellow anywhere to indicate that there's no parking there. And so there's a couple of issues here. Really, one is we know that, parking is something that's enacted or taken away by ordinance and vote of the council. And I have a lot of respect for the school district, and I think what they were doing was probably done out of their best observation of what needed to be done. But they don't really have the authority to administer parking on the street. So I'm not sure where we need to go with this, but I do know that our current ordinance says there is no parking on either the north or south side. So if we are going to amend it to sort of make it as it has been marked, we're going to have to amend that ordinance.
Well, there certainly is parking during school event. I mean, on basketball games and stuff, it's packed back there, and I don't know, I drove like in front of the entrance to the gym. And then they, like you said, 2 handicap spots. And it may be because of the facility they're putting in. But yeah.
They still legally can't do that without coming before us. I mean, and maybe we would want it the same way. I have no idea, really.
Well, I know. Right behind the gym?
They drop them off after
Yeah.
events and stuff.
Mr. Austin?
Yeah, some sign issues down there to where some signs were removed, and you ended up having to put some signage down there?
I think that was on the south side, it was the no parking signs that had been removed.
So we've had north side.
That's the way it seems, yes.
Yeah.
But that ordinance says there's no parking on either side.
Do we need to go back and mark it up?
Mr. Glenn?
I think we need to ask the representative from the school district to be here at our next, to have an explanation on what their goals are, what they're planning on, and wait until we hear from them and then decide what we need to do.
Chief Elmeyer, had you had some communication with them, or perhaps Darren?
Yes, yeah, I spoke with Annie a couple times about it, Annie Evers. You know, I think those yellow crosses down by the gym that you're referring to, they extended that another, kind of doubled that distance, so they had more room to let those off. I don't think they've got a big problem with people that live across the street due to their minimal parking situation, parking in those 3, 4, or 5 that have been there. They did add a second handicap. There had been one, and then they added a second. So I think they're pretty reasonable to do whatever might need to be done too. I think she's going to be fine with whatever's decided. The people that live on the side of the road, when Darren and I went down there together looking at it, we found a guy working in the yard, and he wasn't one of them that complained or anything. But when I asked him, can you show me what they changed in the last 48 hours with this? He was the one that stepped up and said, yeah, they doubled that size, added another one of those, and we need these spots because, you know, just don't have a whole lot of parking there going into their places on the south side of the road there. So there's gonna be some people probably, well, I think a couple reached out to you, maybe, Mayor, a couple reached out to us at the department and noticed they did that. But since then, I think when I've went back there and looked, there's cars still parking there in the areas that aren't marked. Like the mayor said, there's 5 different areas probably that people can park. And if the school don't have a problem with it, at the end of the day, maybe that's what needs to be ordinanced in. If so, you know, or if not, then you just leave it all shut down. Because I don't even think the handicap is in the ordinance, is it?
No.
Well, I think it is a good idea to invite someone to the next council meeting, keep this on the agenda, and I mean, I believe obviously everything you just said, Chief, but we need to get some form of communication from them, even if it's just in an email that, you know, here's why what we did and what we prefer.
Yeah. I can reach out to the superintendent if you want me to take care of that, since I've been in communication with her.
If you would, that would be great.
We'll come or send somebody if she can't.
Okay.
Yeah, I would like to have a representative here, not by email, but to have them here to explain what they're trying to accomplish.
Sure.
What they've done already.
Do you have some pictures, you think, of some of that?
We can certainly have some photos of
That would
that
be
next meeting,
nice.
sure.
I mean, it's one thing to drive down there and look at it, it's another to have it in front of me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And like they're doing some roof work or something somewhere in, you know, in a large dumpster.
Yeah.
I would hate to change the ordinance and make it worse for the school. I mean, I personally think that we should work with the school to try to make it easy on them for their parking. But I also think it should be that they really can't do that without it going to the city.
Right.
So,
Well, forgiveness later, right?
yeah, easier to, what is that terminology about easier to ask forgiveness?
And permission.
Yeah, ask permission.
Right.
Two-way street, and I think the intent the north side. And I don't know whether our ordinances never got, you know, up where the ball got dropped there, but I think that is, you know, back from when that was a two-way street, and then when it went to one-way, I think that was the intention, was to add parking in there.
I think that would make sense, because I also think that the school may want those spots there because some of their teachers may park in those 4 or 5 extra spots along there too, you know.
Sounds like that's the only place in town we could probably sell permits for $500 a year.
If we're going to about fire department access on either side of the gym, that would be the spot that we would have to go in if something would occur there. You know, if it's chock full of cars and we need to take equipment in and out or pull hose lines, it might be need for at least one space there that would be available for us.
Okay.
You definitely have a good size spot at the gym where they've doubled the,
Okay, you mean
but you'd have those
How
handicap
could you
spots.
forget the girls in the parkway?
Mrs. Deers made me remember a lot of things.
Consideration of ordinance amendment chapter 3, animals by adding section 3-2-2, removal of wild animals.
Did you consider both?
I believe there's an
There's an
exemption.
exemption in there for birds and squirrels
Birds.
on C on the back page.
If anybody cares to hear the backstory, I'd be happy to tell it.
I'd love to hear it.
Well, what I do, so, I mean, I feed birds in a feeder, and, you know, they knock it on the ground. and
The
actually-
feeder or the food?
The food.
Oh, yeah, mine do too.
So, to me, it's a violation to leave any food on the ground.
That becomes squirrel.
What?
That becomes squirrel food then. That's how.
If you're leaving it on the ground,
Richard, you're the city attorney, what do you say to Judge?
Have done to address the feeding of wild animals, raccoons, possums, etc., large concentrations of animals in neighborhoods that results.
So here. Via email from a resident who said that in her neighborhood, there seemed to be a large number of raccoons that were showing symptoms of distemper, and that one of her, I believe it was a nephew or something, 4 or 5-year-old child had been playing in her backyard, and there was, you know, a raccoon middle of the day that had, you know, exhibited aggressive behavior toward this child, and it was very concerning. And come to find out over the course of, you know, trying to assess, well, why are all of these things constantly in my neighborhood? This woman's neighbor has a channel on social media called, I'll leave her name out, but a certain person's Wild Kingdom. And every on her TikTok channel and has 30 to 40 raccoons that she's feeding by hand out the back step of her home. And of course, whenever you've got that many animals together, it causes disease and problems and whatever. And so when we went to try to, you know, do some sort of enforcement action on the problem, there was really not anything in our ordinance that talked about not being able to do that. And so the people in that neighborhood are anxiously awaiting us taking action on this so that we can calm that problem.
If I was in my neighborhood, they'd do something with the green down there. He's moved over, because the that's not the whole time. He's got the
I'm not following. Rattle some cages, Gary, I guess. Did I get that?
move we approve this new ordinance.
That didn't answer, if John has to clean up the food.
The raccoons are getting in the...
Yeah.
All in favor, signify. All right.
I'm an old too.
Mr. McCombs, an old lady.
Hi, going back to the park on Edith Street. I am one of the residents. I'm the one directly behind that double part. I do want to say, like, with the neighbor, like, obviously you guys already know that it is very limited. I do have a shared driveway with one of the neighbors who has about 10 cars on that street. So the driveway is filled and he fills up those other 5 parking spots. So the rest of us are kind of out of luck too. But I have bought the house in 2023. I know my other neighbors are probably 3 years before me, and the other and none of them have ever seen any signs. I will say when I was driving here now, there is a sign up saying no parking on this side of the street. I will try to come to the next meeting if the school representative comes. Just in case I can't go, I do just want to say it now. Sorry. So with like the middle school, they usually do have the buses dropping off in the back. All the parents are dropping off there. Everything is happening in the back, which makes it really hard for us to get to our house. So not only was I kind of like concerned about the parking, but the middle school overall is blocking that road a lot. For like, I have 2 3-year-old kids. I've had ambulances come all hours of the day. He's been helicoptered over to St. Louis, and it makes me really worried that that street can be blocked off for a good amount of time because of the events that are happening there. Now that no parking is there, we saw last night that parents are still parking there, and then they are also still taking up the whole road. So like I have a camera up front, so I see like how long they're sitting there, how long it might take to get there. There was one time my kid needed his inhaler, and he was all the way at the end of the street, and he can't get in, and it was a bus blocking it. So I went to go talk to the bus. I was like, hey, I need my kid to get here. He did not, so I just had to go to the end of the street, and it's not in a great position. I hate to complain because I love my job, but I do need parking, and I know they have other options, like they have dumpsters on the other side of the street where they can also fit this one. So like if it's a dumpster thing, because they have had a PE teacher come to our porch and tell us about the dumpster, and there was no fines at all. Like they have other options for that. They also painted a new, so it's about dropping kids off, like they have to drop off by the cafeteria. So I get like the whole fire truck thing and needing to be able to get in there, but I feel like it is also more than that, and like residents on that side of the street are just kind of like, it's the school and we're kind of out of luck almost.
Thank you.
Mayor, I got a question. When Darren and I went over there speaking with the one neighbor, he made it clear that quite a few years back, for drop off of school and pickup from school, they used to come back there to where those yellow X's are at down by the gym, and that's where they used to do it. Now, he was telling us that for the last 2, 3, 4 years, the drop off and pickup, not special events, kids coming back from a ball game, but before school, after school takes place down at the corner at 21st. Is that correct from what you know?
Yeah.
So what you're talking,
Yeah.
because they do keep that before and after school drop off down on that corner, because if they come down there, then it's really going to get bottled up, as it done 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago, whenever it was that they used to do it that way.
And I feel like most of us don't park over there anyways, because the houses that are over there, like one's like the apartments, they have their parking lot, and then the other one, they kind of park on the grass. So I think like over in that area, not a lot of us are parking, like where that large dumpster is now. That's still kind of easy, but like the majority of us that have a lot of cars are where that no parking just entered.
Right. Now on that large dumpster, is that something that is there a lot, or is that just something they're doing while they're doing a job?
Not a lot. It's not the first time, but when they had it before, they did let us know, like, hey, we're gonna, when they're taking up the bin field, they're like, hey, we're gonna have this here for a few days, and they let us know, but this time they did not say anything.
But we don't expect it to be a permanent
That's
thing.
part of the remodel there on the southwest corner for the clinic. is why that's there.
All right.
It would be nice if you could come next.
Thank you for sharing that.
Any other public comment? Move on.
It takes us to personnel, chaired by Ms. Barbara Hughes.
No new business and public comment on personnel. Mayor, read it out.
All right. I don't have anything on the mayor's report. I'll go to council member requests. Ms. Hughes.
Just a quick question. Did you
We did close on 1524 Walnut Street, yes.
just notice that in the minutes? That's your question. Thank you. Nothing else.
Payment on that, it's payable.
Mr. Allstar.
I just want to thank everybody for coming to, I think it was, it was something. Thank you.
Ms. Jackson. Clerk Ribbon. Mr. Purvis.
Thank you, Mike, for facilitating and helping get us through that last night.
Mr. McCollum.
Me and John
I don't know.
and,
What neighborhood are we talking about, Gary?
well, it's,
Between Court and Clay, the alley, there's a pool on Clay Street, next to the last house, next to Bob Eaton's house. Yeah. And then apparently they just run down and houses on Clay, on the court that are on the hill.
Well, I mean, to some extent, it may be a civil matter where, one would have to sue the other for what amounts to trespass, but I don't know if we have anything in ordinance. I doubt that we would, that talks specifically to that. But I mean, if they're sustaining tangible physical damage to their property, I suppose they could sue them.
I'll bring that to Charlie and see if there's any matters.
Okay.
and then one shot.
I'm sure we could probably get that arranged.
You wanna have to wait.
Is Leandra not there?
Uh,
Is Leandra not there?
she's
Just make a note to remind me to talk to Charlie and take care of it. Mr. Navarro.
No, thank you, Mayor.
All right. Mr. Gladden. All right, we'll go to department head, request Attorney Blake. Mr. Evans.
Nothing, thank you.
Chief McBride. Mr. Manware.
Nothing, thanks.
Mr. Shepherd.
Yes, I wanted to add, we are taking bids on the Oak Street project on August 11th. So, 10 o'clock here, so should get pretty good bid. I'd imagine it'd just be A.T. Simons and Samron bidding on that, so.
Very good. Mr. Lee.
Yeah, I have two things. First, the red water tower, we purchased a mixer early in the year to solve some water quality problems in it. And with installation with inspection, which is going to happen in August. So the installation, like I said, we did budget for it, but it's coming up, so you'll see that on possibly the August account. It's gonna be around $18,000 for this. I just kind of wanted to bring that up so you'd be looking for it. And on a lighter note, or more positive note, our summer help kids were a great success this year. We managed to paint 256 hydrants of 502.
Wow.
And they really got with it. They were very motivated. They got out there. They did a really good job. I've had a lot of compliments.
That's awesome. I didn't, 200 and how many?
256. They kept a list of everyone they did.
Do they paint any babies or cows?
I wanted them, when they were painting mine, I wanted it to be, look like a dog, and they wouldn't do it.
But they would, next year we'll take requests.
Okay.
That's all I have.
All right, thank you.
What do you do?